Hello, everybody. Hope y'all hear me well, but I think I'm here by myself. It's all good though. It is all good because it is 7 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, and the voice has come to an end. So we got to talk about it. But before we do that, I am Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture. Love talking about superhero things here on BLERD Force One, and for the past, I want to say 7 weeks, we have been having a live stream to talk about The Boys season 4 and what's been going on with it, and a lot of stuff that's been going on. For better or for worse, it's been kind of mirroring what's going on in real life, and entirely unintentionally, but sometimes life imitates art or vice versa, and it gives us a chance to talk about these things. But either way, I did just finish watching the episode. Oh, probably about probably about an hour ago. Took some notes, and as usual, I'm going to go through my notes to just kind of talk about my thoughts while I was watching the episode. We'll, take any remarks, questions, comments, whatever from the chat, but just generally talking about what happened in the episode and what it means for the show in general and how all of this relates to us. This is holding a mirror up to to our society, I guess you could say. So before I do that, let me acknowledge whoever's in the chat. Johnny, my friend, how you doing? Welcome back. Glad you can make it on this last, I guess, live stream to talk about this show. And y'all bear with me. I forgot to pull my notes up. So let me do that real quick so I can go through it. I do want to kind of recap the episode in the sense of, like I said, going through my notes, just to see what I was thinking as we were working through the episode. So all the way up to the top. Johnny says the best episode of the season. I don't necessarily agree, but I thought it was a good season finale. I think I probably liked the episode with Huey's dad dying a bit more. It just hit me more emotionally. This is oddly enough This is a great season finale that sets up the next season. It sets the stakes, but it actually more or less landed where I thought it would. Pretty much landed where I thought it was going to land in terms of where Homelander was going to be. I was wrong about some things, so I will say what those things are. I was wrong about Sage, except I thought Sage might die, and I thought A-Train might die. Neither of them did. And then Newman, I did think was going to die. I think my friend Lottie, from the the Supercast, he said that, and I think somebody on here probably said that, what's her name? Grace was going to die. So that happened. Not a lot of death in this one. Not as much death as I thought it would be. So, yeah, it was a pretty good episode, I think. And I actually, for some characters, I think possibly the best they've been. Definitely Huey. I think Huey's coming into his own in this season was really important. And I think he's finally made that transition, to being truly a member of the boys in the sense that he's all in, but also he knows what his moral compass is and he's not getting pushed around by people. But yeah, this is definitely a nightmare scenario. Like this whole season, we've thought it was going to be a nightmare scenario at the end. So that it's kind of turned into that at the very end. Sage got her way. As I said, she had plans within plans. She wasn't out. She knew what she was doing, and then she got what she wanted. So, and the great thing about it is Sage she doesn't even have anything she wants out of this except she wanted to see if she could do it. Like she's bored with doing just being so smart and never being able to use it in the real world. So now she got a chance. That was a fun and interesting kind of a revelation on her part. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get through my notes, and if y'all chime in, and I will jump to your comments after I get through my notes. Excuse me. So, at the very beginning, note that there was a warning um, about from an actual warning, like, hey, some shit happened in the real world. We're not making fun of this, and real world violence is not cool. Which, I mean, this is a CYA move by Amazon and by the creators. The whole episode's about us. It was called Assassin's Run, but they changed the name. They just changed the name to a finale. Which, I mean, I get it from a business standpoint and from a liability standpoint, but they did it just because, you know, some shit happened in the real world, like last week. So yeah, Assassin's Run. That's what it was called. So they canceled A Train's movie. Poor Will Ferrell. He's not going to get his Oscar because, you know, A Train is AWOL. And so they said they did it for tax purposes. I thought that was a very good one to shit talk Disney and Warner Brothers. They did an All Lives Matter hashtag, and where Deep says, I'm responsible for racism. And I was like, wow, what a cell phone. Okay. What an idiot. He's so stupid. The shifter as Annie proposes to Huey, and he proposes back, and they get engaged. And I'm like, oh man, come on. Like, we know what's up. So I'm like, man, why y'all got to do my dog like this? There's a point at they have sex after the proposal, and he says 2 fingers was a lot. So I was like, okay, you know what? Be adventurous. You know, it's all good. Deadpool will be proud. I asked the question. So Butcher's in the hospital. You know, he fell out in the last episode. Oh, Woke AF, good to see you here. Welcome back, as usual. I'm trying to get through my notes, so bear with me. I was asking the question to myself: why does Imaginary Kessler want to genocide the soup so bad? Not that I'm against it. I pretty much think he's right. But that being said, why does Imaginary Kessler? Because remember, this is Butcher. But is it Butcher? Like, it's weird. You know, why is he having this debate with himself? Or is it himself? I don't know. We get Homelander, who's just like, it's the day of the inauguration, and he's just looking at his pubes. Now I was like, dude, that's too many pubes. You should like stop. At some point, you gotta stop obsessing over getting gray, man. It's over. You're just going gray. He is very upset. You know, he finds that picture of Butcher and Becca in Ryan's bag, and he's pissed. Like, he's like doing the angry stern dad thing with Ryan, and Ryan's just like, no, I don't have to, and he kind of runs off. And I love that just because Ryan is equal, and not equal. Ryan is like a regular kid to him, in the sense that he could murder everybody else, but Ryan, he can't. So he can't just like strong arm him like he wants to. And he realizes he doesn't have to be afraid of his dad, even though he is a little bit. So we get a kind of a scene between Annie and the shapeshifter, right? Which is a surprisingly deep scene, because the shapeshifter, we've only known them as this person that stole her body and is pretending to be her, and the shapeshifter's on a mission, right? But we get in that scene, we learn just enough about the character to know who they are and what they're about. And they say very much, I'm not a psychopath, I'm a sociopath. And I noted the shifter comes about their sociopath nature very honestly, because they have a kind of shitty but awesome power set, in the sense that in the process of taking someone's shape, they also can take all of their memories. So it's literally they're cloning their memories and their body and everything. And in so doing, they learn everything about the person. And what they've learned about all the people they've shifted into is that, as you said, everyone's the hero of their own story, but they justify all the bullshit and the petty crap and the shitty things they do. And so they're a sociopath because of their experience with other people. And I thought that was a very interesting look on a character who otherwise could just be some cardboard, kind of villain that just is evil. But they're not evil. They're just jaded, hella jaded, and very, very little in the way of moral compass. And so they kind of torture Annie about who she is and everything like that. And, talks about how, well, Huey actually wants me because I'm a lot less stressed out and I'm willing to do whatever. I'm down for whatever. It's like she's, the shifter's really taking pleasure in causing her pain. So we see all that. The next thing we have is Huey and you have Huey and Butcher talking on the phone, kind of this is my last call to people. Which I thought was very good. Carl Urban has been overshadowed in terms of acting in this season, but it's not his fault because there's a lot of wheels moving at the same time, and some people are just getting a lot better material because of what they're doing. But he got excellent material there, and I thought he really, really delivered in that bad scene, just talking on the phone to Huey. So the next thing we see is, I just want to say, like, he really sort of passing the torch to Huey there too, because he's expecting to die. I thought that was good. So the next scene we see is Homelander and Victoria Newman on Firecracker's, Fox News show, where he forcibly outs Victoria to the world and kind of sets off this chain of events. Essentially, he outs her to force her hand so that she can't hem and haw and try to play both sides to the last minute. And at the same time, he decides this is time to enact the purging of Vought itself, the Vought Tower and everything like that. But she realizes, and he basically threatens, like, go along with the plan. I'm gonna find your daughter, and I'm gonna torture her for every day for the rest of your life, and you'll know because I'll send pieces of her. And that kind of made me think about something. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to the whole Kendrick versus Drake beef, but there's something in one of the songs that makes sense here, which is, Kendrick says, you push, your actions push good people. You push good people, and then they basically decide to have action against you. And that's what's happening here. Victoria's not good, but she's on Homelander's side. But he's pushing her to do what he wants, and it pushes her to say, fuck this, I'm out. I'm going to switch sides because I have to save my daughter. And that's an important thing, to note here. Homelander, remember he said, I'm so wise, right? I have all this wisdom. Not wise enough to not, push away one of his important allies. You can't strong arming people only works so far until you give them nothing to lose, and then you don't have the leverage anymore. So it's Homelander not understanding people. That's important. That Firecracker says it's the Great Awakening, right? Did y'all clock that? It's white supremacist talk. The Great Awakening is just white supremacist talk, straight up. That the awakening of so now that they can turn against the people who are their enemies. And also, I like that they keep calling them super abled because it's the stupidest label. They don't want to call them superheroes or supes. Ashley was told by Homelander to get a shit list, get everybody that has dirt or information so we can kill every one of them. She gets it. Smart doesn't put herself on it, But here, over here is them saying, "Oh, well, isn't Ashley on the top of the list?" So she runs off to go get V'd up. I was felt very bad because I was like, "God dang it, damn it, Ashley! I sort of like you now. I don't want you to get lasered." So we never saw the outcome of that. She V'd herself up. We never saw the outcome of that. Um, Thankfully, she will be back next season. We see Ryan's actually, a good kid. She comes to visit Butcher, realizing that he's, dying. Butcher is taking the soft approach with him. Grace is there also in this little bunker. And all the while, Kessler's like, we gotta kill him. We gotta, he's not gonna do it. He's not, he's constantly pushing that. We see Deep regretting killing Ambrosius, but only for a second, because he's got work to do. He's got to go start killing all these people. He suggests, well, probably Ashley should be. Doesn't she know the most about us? Well, we should kill her. So the next thing we see, is and also I wanted to note in that scene, Firecracker finding out just how much Homelander thinks of her. She is a breast milk factory. That's it. But she's fucked herself up with these drugs to give him breast milk, and now it's sort of taking its toll on her. And he's just like, get away from me. So Huey and Mother's Milk and Fake Annie and Kamiko, they all bug out with President Singer down to the bunker because his head's on the chopping block. Of course, fake Annie is there, and therefore, of course, somebody's got to figure it out. Huey figures it out. He realizes that she's actually the shifter, and it turns into a really very boys, standard. Everyone squishy gets killed situation, except for our heroes. The plot armor is real, y'all. It's very real because the two squishiest people in the whole room, she just punched in the chest and then moved on, but proceeded to annihilate every other person, right? And also, I will note, it's fucking unfair. It is really unfair to have shape-shifting and memory powers and you're bulletproof and you're super strong. What the heck, man? Come on. Like they don't have to keep doing that. Like, pick one. Why you get to have all the cool power? That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, they have the fight with her. She chases them down. Kamiko does her best, not quite good enough, and gets her neck snapped. All is lost, except we saw Annie's a badass bitch. She rips the manacles off and goes after her, and has a good fight and kills her. Had some really nice lines too. I've been waiting for Annie to get real on this. She said, I don't know who I am, but I do know I'm the bitch that's beating your ass. That's what I'm talking about. That's the dialogue I like. So she kills the shifters. The shifters can be killed. I guess asphyxia works. You just have to be strong enough to asphyxiate somebody. So we do see Homelander is basically threatening Victoria over the phone. Keep your shit together. They know that the hit on Singer didn't work. And so he basically, like I say, he threatens her child, and that's what causes her to call Huey. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, Andy's fucking mad. Can y'all believe this? I'm sitting up here being like, you really gonna be mad at Huey right now? Because a shapeshifter took your exact body and your memories, right? And he had sex with her not knowing. That's real. I was like, if you don't get out of here with this foolishness, it would be one thing if she didn't have the shapeshifter didn't have complete memories. He knew exactly how to play her. So I was like, Annie, go somewhere with that. They have the meetup with they decide to meet up with Victoria Newman. She quotes war games, which I love. The only way to win is not to play. when she confesses to Huey that she wants out and to make a deal with him. And she's trusting Huey with Zoe's life. So we later see Deep and Firecracker running around the hallways of Vought, killing people. Deep killing a guy after making him say that he was the most intelligent person on the Seven. Just a lot of excuse for more ultra violence. They kill Ashley, not the Ashley, the other Ashley's Ashley, which she wasn't on the list, oddly enough. So poor girl. And Ashley apparently didn't like you as much as her assistant Kevin, who she got out of the building weeks ago. So Huey, when he's talking about whether or not they should accept Newman's deal, I guess you can say, delivers some great lines, and lines I hope that you guys want to talk about, because beyond all the violence and everything, there are ideas that are being bandied about here. He says, "What's insane is our solution to every problem is murder." Then he goes on to say, "Violence isn't brave, but forgiveness, letting go, a little fucking mercy, that's brave." And my note was Huey channeling Clark Kent, which is ironic and also fitting because something very similar was said by Clark Kent in My Adventure with Superman in his previous week's episode. So also played, by Jack Quaid. I thought that was kind of fitting. But Huey, in the comics, my understanding is Huey becomes the actual heart and soul of the boys. And I think this is his actual moment where he steps into that role, where he becomes their conscience. Because Annie's against it. Everybody's against it. But he convinces them that, no, he said, if we're ever going to win against monsters, I think we need to start acting human. And that is an important, philosophical turn for the boys. That maybe, I don't like the whole, if they go low, we go high. I think that's bullshit. But I do think that you can lose yourself in the process of trying to destroy your enemies. And you have to be aware of that and be careful. Also, Huey and Annie are back together because she says he needs to get tested because she doesn't want to get shifter syphilis. Whatever the fuck that is. Also, guys, for real, they've been tickling our balls about this shit for 4 seasons. But finally, Kamiko and Frenchie are together. Yes, it's about damn time. No longer a platonic pair. They are, they're an actual couple. Cool. So after that, that's about the most fun we're gonna get about this season, because Butcher and Grace completely botched the whole turning Ryan thing, because Grace is just like, we don't have time for this. We need you to get strong so you can fight your dad. And she's ignoring Butcher, and Ryan's getting all pissed, and he's like, all right, I want to leave. And, at the end of it all, as much as she confesses, like, you were like my grandson and everything like that, he ends up killing her. And Butcher can't do anything to stop him from leaving. So Ryan, his allegiance still very much up in there, even though he has the truth about his dad and what he's like. And so Butcher turns to Kessler and is like, fine, let's do it. He's got, as we see later, an ace up his sleeve. But he's decided that, yes, he's going to start offing soups for real. He goes and interrupts the little meeting between the boys and Victoria Newman, proceeds to venom out, or whatever you want to call that shit, rips her up, and it's just like, you're welcome, I'm going to do my thing. Which was such a promise not fulfilled, god dang it. Eric Kripke, don't be doing stuff like that, acting like shit's about to go down. Homelander he's at Vought Tower. He's crying. He's like a little baby on the floor. Surprised he didn't have a carton of Haagen-Dazs. And Sage rolls it back up. As I predicted, she was not done. She had her plans and everything is working out the way she wants. Newman's dead. It's confirmed on the news. Singer is arrested for her being dead, which does not match up with our current reality, because our current reality, he would be just off scot-free because presidents could do whatever they want, right? I guess he wasn't certified though, but maybe he was certified or something. I don't know. The new president is the opposition leader in the House, who is pledge allegiance to Homelander. And Sage is like, just like I planned. If you had just fucking listened to me, everything would have been smooth, but it's all good. I made some plans. I didn't let you know everything that was going on. I made sure it happened because I got your back, dog. I told you. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And we got phase 2 to go. And he was just like, I can't. Why would you do this? I turned on you. She's like, I didn't. I'm good. I'm doing this. So there you go. He steps up. They do a press conference. Basically shoves the new president aside. He's like, we got soups all over the country. There's martial law. The soups have power. They report to me. We can start rounding people up. It's fascism time. Let's get it, boy. So happy. And thus it began. And of course, it's got to start with our hometown heroes, the boys, who think they're going to split up, go underground, but not quite. Huey gets captured and he gets away. Mother's Milk gets slapped around by a prehensile dick and gets carted away. And then French and Kamiko almost make it. But dumb motherfuckers. I already told you I can't stand these motherfuckers, but Kate and fucking Sam roll up to deal with them. So, yeah, another reason to go fuck those guys. But Butcher and Annie have gotten away, and Butcher's out on the road again. And last thing we see is Homelander finds Soldier Boy in stasis. What could it mean? There we go. That was all of my notes for this episode. It's time for us to really dig into what's going on here. I will say this is not my favorite of the finales. I think last season's finale was better. But this did a lot of heavy lifting. It did the Empire Strikes Back thing. It left you at the point where you're like, God damn, how is anyone getting out of this? Our guys, 3 out of the boys, right? 3 out of 5 of them, or 6 of, what is it? 2 out of 6 of them got away. Butcher, he's on a road trip doing whatever, right? He's going to be doing something. Starlight, she's got power. She got away. But everybody else is in camps, prisons. I'm assuming they're going to end up in the for-profit prisons. Something, right? There's a phase 2 going on that Sage was talking about that she's got, under her sleeve. What is that? And, of course, Homelander is the supreme leader for all intents and purposes. He's the Putin of the United States, essentially. He's the power behind the power. So, with all that said, and how does Gen V play into this? That's another question we need to ask ourselves. How does Gen V play into this? So, let me see what you guys have said. Don't forget, yes, Annie got her powers back. Yeah, she got her shit back because she finally owned up to who the fuck she is, and she decided to put her bad bitch clothes on, and I'm all for it. Let's go. She killed it. She killed the shifter, and that shifter was no joke. But she put her on the mat. Real fucking simple. So, I don't know the comics, but Starlight being the ace in the hole, I'm with that. I'm totally with it. But she's gonna have a hard time. Like, remember, all the soups are getting in line. In the United States. I'm gonna say in the United States. There are soups in other countries, but in the United States. And I have to be honest. I don't know, did any of y'all watch Invincible season 2? Because there's a scene in Invincible season 2 where Angstrom Levy is kind of talking about his other lives of his other selves that he's he got all of their memories. And one of his memories is being shackled, handcuffed from behind on his knees, waiting for Mark, the alternate version of Mark, to come and karate chop his head off. And that's what I feel like is they're aiming for what these camps are going to be like. This new season is going to be, as far as I can tell, it's going to be the nightmare scenario. Like, liberals in Hollywood probably have just been like, oh, one day they're going to come for us, and this is going to be their nightmare scenario put onto screen. And ironically, the next season is probably going to play out under a Trump presidency, and therefore it's going to be weird to see how wrong and how right they are. Like, I don't think there's internment camps coming. That's not in the next 4 years. Give it a decade maybe, but not 4 years. But imagine this as an accelerated plan, of what could happen in the real world given the right motivation and the right power. Let's see. Sage has 6 phases to our plan. Well, she's too smart for me. I don't even know what phase 2 is. I mean, I figure phase 2 is probably, phase 1 was get your ass, get our puppet in place and give us de facto martial law rule. Phase 2 must be round up all dissidents and kill them or disappear them. So what the fuck would phase 6 be? I hope it's going to Mars, because if you're going to do all this shit, can you at least be doing something less petty than, oh, I run the country? That's so, I mean, you got all the fucking power in the world. Go to another fucking planet. Let's see. Yeah. Well, phase 2, world domination. I mean, it could be. I feel like that's a little further down the line, because you got to consolidate power. That's the thing. The thing about doing big machinations like this is you've got to consolidate. You got to consolidate power. You got to establish complete stability at your base of operations. Like, people often say that Hitler's problem was that he opened up another front. That's true enough. If you haven't secured one side of the battlefield, why are you trying to start fighting on another one? So, I mean, I think they definitely could lay the groundwork for it, but we don't know how far and wide Vought goes. This has just been in the United States. Woke AF says they need to be more imaginative with Starlight's power. Power over light is awesome. I agree. I think, but is she just empowered by light? Is that what it is? And they make it out like it's excuse me, just electricity as opposed to light. So I don't know how far they're going with it. It would be cool though if she had actual, for real, like Captain Marvel powers, because that's a different story, or Spectrum or binary powers. Then she's on another level. She's not just, oh, I get stronger when I pull in radiation. It's be like, no, I'm the source of radiation and I'm full of it. I'm full of like ridiculous power. Johnny says A-Train might be the ace in the hole. Well, he's certainly in the shit house when it comes to other soups. So he's he picked his side. He picked his side. Now he's going to have to run with it, so to speak. And honestly, I don't know why he's not more effective. He's like, what if the Flash was terrible at his powers, basically? WokeF says, I'm sorry to get all science nerd on you, but light and electricity are pretty much part of the same force. No, I get that. What I mean by that is, it seems to me that Annie gets souped up, if that makes sense. She gets more powerful the more electricity she absorbs. They've made it out that it's electricity up to this point. But if it were actually just light, then she basically should never be out of power because there's always radiation somewhere. There's always light. Like there's light everywhere. It's just we don't see it, but electricity is just one manifestation of a type of light. But if she actually could absorb any light, that's infrared, that's gamma radiation, that's any kind of light, could basically any kind of radiation. Yeah, she'd be a badass. All she'd have to do is go hang out in a fucking nuclear reactor and then go ham. So we'll see. I don't. They pick and choose when to nerf or expand powers. So it's just it serves the story rather than being consistent. Unfortunately. Speaking of powers, y'all want to talk about Butcher the Venom or Venom Butcher or whatever you want to call him? Uh, Shooting out his Japanese tentacle porn tentacles. And they're powerful. And here's the other thing. Why is he not dead? This motherfucker was he not just on his deathbed? Or so help me speculate here, people. Did his whatever cancer, whatever, is that just his tumors exploding out of him? Would y'all say that that's the reason why he didn't die? Is because he let the tumors explode out of him and therefore it gave him a reprieve, a remission? Because when he was remember, after he let the things, he looked like kind of like shit walking in. He lets the things out. They kill Newman. And then he seems better, like much better. Tumor created symbiosis keeping him alive. Monkey Hook 685. By the way, welcome. Thank you for joining, and thank you for chiming in. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That the tomb, that's why I was asking earlier. Is Kessler actually just a split personality of Butcher, or is it actually the tumor with a personality? I feel like Master Monkey Hook says, I feel like he has given Kessler master control. I don't think that's what's going on. I think he and the tumor, if you will, the tentacle tumors, have agreed to work in the same direction. And for whatever reason, the tumor really hates Soups. Really hates Soups. But they are working together because notice he killed Newman, but didn't kill Annie or Kamiko. Therefore, they're having, they're agreeing to sort of work together, I think. Like I said, is the tumor sentient? Is that what's talking to him? Or is it just his personality and his mind is actually controlling the tumors? Who knows? I don't know yet. I did enjoy that, even though I really anticipated. I think everyone anticipated, yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen, right? Johnny says, were you disappointed A-Train wasn't in this episode? I was not, and I wasn't surprised either. I think him disappearing and his family disappearing that's when I knew. I was like, okay, A-Train survives the season. That's exactly at that point. I was like, yeah, he's not coming back. He survives the season. So I wasn't disappointed. They're holding on to him, and I am really happy because, again, Jesse T. Usher has been there from the beginning. He's one of the characters that's been there from the beginning. And I really want them to he's slated to die according to the comic books. I want it to be meaningful and to happen and to just play out with enough time and enough, attention to it. The finale, there's too much going on, I think. Monkey Hook says, I feel like the tumor started off Butcher's own deepest inner thoughts. I mean, I agree in the sense that it's pretty clear that, Becca. By the way, we haven't seen Becca since Kessler told her to shut up. Notice that. Interesting, right? But I agree that that did start off that way. The question is if the tumor actually was becoming sentient, did it just assume this, kind of secondary personality that Butcher was having? Was the tumor fragmenting his mind, and that's where it comes from? I don't know. It's a good thought, but I do at this. I'm at the point where I'm like, the tumor's probably got its own mind at this point. It is a Venom situation. Um, let's see. Johnny says the Butcher and Homelander rematch is going to be amazing. I will agree, but I want to know something about the tumor and how much is it souping up Butcher's body. Like how resilient is he? How, because if he can't stand up to Homelander will just rip the tentacles off. As far as I can tell. Also, remember, Homelander's going to have Soldier Boy. Some way, one way or another, he's going to have Soldier Boy. I don't know how it's going to work, but he's at his disposal. Monkey Hook says, it's just a follow up on the one about the Kessler thing. That is his innermost thoughts, because it started with that. It's its own goal now too. Yeah, like I could agree with that. If this was something that started off as just like a little tumor, and then it's now got its own mind, it's imprinted that thing onto it. Essentially, it assumed a personality so that it could communicate with Butcher, and now that is its personality. Monkey Hook says A-Train dipped and stayed dipped. Hell yeah, I would too. Hey, you look. He's on the shit list for real. Ain't no reason to be sticking around and trying to stick your head up out of the foxhole. It's not the time. When he comes back, he's going to come back and it's going to be impactful. I suspect he and Annie are going to team up, but we shall see. Johnny says, who should kill Sister Sage and Firecracker? I mean, it would be nice if Homelander did it. Because in my mind, the way this show ends, the way Homelander ends, is alone and vicious. And like he's like, fuck it, everyone around me's betrayed me, or they've gone, or they've abandoned me, they've betrayed me. It's just me, and he's just he finally snaps and loses it for real. And so the way that works is if you take away his security. Sage is his security right now. Firecracker is his security right now. But if for whatever reason he feels the need to kill them, or in a fit of rage he turns his ire against them, whatever the case may be, it would go a great way towards making a very interesting ending where he is utterly alone. He's always felt he's alone. He doesn't think he's human. So he feels utterly alone anyway. And all of his attempts to connect to someone he thinks is like him fail. With his dad, with his son, with other people. So it would be fitting if he were completely alone and had to face off with Butcher by himself, to another person who has essentially decided to forego his humanity to get what he wants. Let's see. Monkey Hook says, my old theory was Becca being a second worm thing, but now I think it's just Butcher's morality. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. The fact that she's not around anymore, that says something. I think that says something. Monkey Luke also says Butcher is bulletproof for sure. Now, not that means anything. It means just enough, I think. That my question is, how durable is he really? That's the main. But notice that was the doctors or somebody said, or maybe it was a tumor. He said, the tumor is like in your bones. It's all so. In a way, this is a weird way to think about it, but the tumor is almost like Wolverine's adamantium, in that it's infiltrated all of his body. It's all, if it's gone through his bones, it's infiltrated his body. Probably it gives him, some super abilities. Monkey Hook says Homelander will definitely fall from grace into the kind of rabid animal, no holds barred mindset come season 5. Yeah, but the thing is, he doesn't have to do it immediately. Remember, most soups suck in this. Like in the comic, almost all of them are terrible. In this one, we haven't seen a ton of them, but pretty much they're not good. Like we met 2, maybe 3 good superheroes, right? So by and large, people with superpower, they're just regular people, and people with a lot of power tend to suck. So, it's, for a while, he's going to have all of this support of people who are more than happy to, they to go out and run the internment camps. They're more than happy to go and punch people's faces in, or disappear their families, or just generally be the SS, the Gestapo. They're more than happy to do that. But how far does that extend? Because, like it or not, you can tell people they're not human all you want, but they're definitely human. Every one of these soups, including Homelander, is definitely human, and so they're gonna act like humans. They're gonna fuck up, and when they fuck up, is he gonna murder them? Right? Maybe they're gonna hit a wall with how much they can endure. Not everyone's noir who will just stab people in the chest because Homelander says so, who are amoral. Not everybody's like that. And I honestly don't even think Noir is like that. I think he's a method actor, and he's been method acting Noir. That's why he just does whatever. He does what he thinks Noir would do. But some people are going to have morals, and that's going to put them on the wrong side. Some people are just not going to have the stomach for it. Some people are going to, turn away from it when they realize this is more than I bargained for. Or when they realize this motherfucker is Dr. Claw or Dr. Evil. He's as soon as I fuck up, I'm down into the fire pit. And they're going to start disappearing, going off the radar. And as that happens, he will become more unhinged. Because Sage, remember Sage, she said, I got a plan. Oh, what they say about plans? Everyone's got, Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face. And Sage is going to get punched in the face, and then what happens? Let's see. Woke AF says, I hope the ending of the series is better than the comics. It's guaranteed to be better than the comics. This show is better than the comics. I haven't even read all the comics, but just based on the little bit I have, the show is better than it in every conceivable way. Like that, hey, edgelord stuff, I guess it can sell well. Cool. But after a while, I'm sick of the fucking, the raunchy jokes and taking piss shots at the Fantastic Four or X-Men or what. Okay, cool. Where's the story after that? And I think the great thing about this show is that they took a concept that was reasonably well done and then made it actually a great story with something to say beyond, what if heroes were terrible? Or what if actually, the X-Men were actually sexual deviants? I mean, that's not a hell of a lot of story. But this one is having a lot more to say. Monkey Hook says, I also like how every season the same conclusion is reached, but ends up being wrong. Homelander don't give a fuck no more. If Homelander didn't care anymore, wouldn't that be nice? Because then we would just be done with all of this play acting. Like, it's weird to me Homelander could just laser everybody, right? I mean, he really could. I know he's just one person, but nobody can kill him. One, no one can kill him that we know. Um, and two, he's got like all the power in the world. Only thing he needs to do is eat and sleep. But can't nobody, like I said, nobody can kill him. So the fact that he still wants to play along is nice, I guess. I guess because the rest of the soups still have to live in this world or whatever. But I mean, if he were an invading alien, he'd be going about this all the slowest possible way. Monkey Hook says Homelander's going to lose the meaning in it all again. He'll have it all and with it have nothing. Yeah. The problem when you're empty inside, I think. I think like, I forget where I heard it, but oh yeah, it was Dumbledore. I don't normally like to quote Harry Potter, but he was like, oh, all money, all the gold and life that anyone could ever want. It's these things that we want the most are the things that are precisely worse for us. And Homelander thinks he wants to be the god king of the world. And I always contend, why would you want that? Like for real, why would you want to be responsible for the world? Because that's the thing. This is what I think about Star Wars too. All right, cool. You're supreme leader, emperor, whatever the fuck of the known galaxy. Day one, yay, we won. Cool. I'm run the empire. Okay. Day two, all this paperwork talking about, well, we got trade routes, we got supply issues, we got pay people, there's refugees, there's all sorts of everybody, there's trillions of people who got problems, and you're the man. You really want that? Why would you want that? Homelander don't want that. He thinks I'm a god, therefore I should be in charge. Being in charge is more than I got the biggest dick, do what I say. All right, cool. Solve a problem. Solve a fucking problem. That's it. All right, cool. You got the biggest dick that you can swing around. Dope. Oh, it's a problem you can't laser to death? Oh, well, you fucking useless. That's what I'm talking about. Like he is a child in the sense that he thinks he wants to be God King. What he really just wants is to just be God, but not have to do anything after that. It's fucking vapid. It's power for the sake of power. And then what do you do with it? Not a fuck thing. Okay, where am I at? Sorry, I went off on a rant there, but it pisses me off when these people think that they want to ascend the mountain. Well, there's a chair up there, bitch, and you got work to do. It's not just getting grapes and eating grapes and having people fan you. You need to do something. Let's see. Oh, Monkey Look says the comic boys is just super people in trench coats fighting super people in spandex. Super predictable, mad lame. Yeah, I got that impression. It's just weird. Like like I said, the idea is sound. If you're gonna deconstruct superheroes or a world of superhero, or even just show like, oh, actually, a world of superheroes sucks, and you don't want it, as kind of an allegory for giving power to people or being careful about who you give power to, I'm with that. Let's explore that. That's interesting places to work. But if it's just making funny little jokes and like being raunchy and being kind of like, edgy, whatever, get out of here. That's 6 issues and you can stop. But it ran for a long time. I don't know. I guess people were just like, how are they going to kill Homelander? How are they going to kill Homelander? Honestly, how are they going to kill Homelander? To me, is the least interesting problem. To me, that's not. I think it's more interesting to be like, how are we going to kill this desire in people to empower the worst fucking people in the world to give them power over their lives? How do we stop that? That's interesting. Fucking Homeland, he's just a guy. He's aging, y'all. Y'all notice his whole thing is he knows I'm aging. At some point, the motherfucker's gonna be gone, and then what? Then the world moves on. He is a symptom. The problem is people empowering the worst possible people, with supreme power. WokeAF says, Homelander's not Superman. Maeve made him bleed despite your impression she was kicking it. Oh no, I agree. No, she was kicking that. The problem is she could kick his ass, but it wouldn't she couldn't beat him. She could bleed him, but couldn't beat him. And I think that was borne out by the fact that she trained, did her damnedest, and still, couldn't, she couldn't bring it home. Right? And that she wasn't fighting, she's fighting in tandem with somebody. So, I mean, she could have killed him if Soldier Boy had, she could have got depowered him or something. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is I'm not diminishing Maeve. Outside of Homelander, she might have been the baddest person on the planet. But it's kind of moot now. She don't have any powers. Monkey Hook says, Homelander, in my opinion, is in my opinion the best evil Superman analog ever. So layered, everything about Superman that makes him Superman is inverted and perverted to make Homelander who he is. That's not I won't disagree. Because truthfully, like, the only other ones we know are Omni-Man, and Omni-Man is a different thing. He's kind of a different thing. I was trying to think of another evil Superman, like the Plutonian from Irredeemable, but he's kind of like Homelander, but like less. He kind of had the same kind of mental issues, but not quite the same. Brightburn also, I said it before, Brightburn is not human. Like, mentally is not human. So I hesitate to say that he's like an inverted Superman. And of course, the various actual evil Superman, they're evil for various reasons, but they're not as nuanced. I would agree. There's been a big exploration of Homelander's mental kind of I don't want to say deficiencies isn't right. His mental trauma and how it's turned him into the worst possible person to have superpowers. OKF says they were interrupted by Soldier Boy becoming a bomb. Yeah, I remember, and that's why she got depowered. And remember, she acknowledged that this was a suicide run that she was going on. She intended very much to die, basically weakening him enough so they could do what they had to do. So even she acknowledged that she couldn't actually kill him. Monkey Hook says, I also feel a big crux of Homelander's is he wants a kingdom for Ryan, but at the same time has the ego and craving for attention inside of him. He can't accept that he won't be there forever. Yeah, and I think it's a lie that he wants it for Ryan. So it's a lie. He wants it for himself. Think about Walter White, which I won't profess to be the biggest and most knowledgeable Breaking Bad fan. I'm not wouldn't even call myself a fan. I've seen some episodes. I've seen some pivotal episodes. I saw the finale despite not watching the whole show. But there's a part where he's talking to his wife, ex-wife, I guess at this point. He had disappeared after he had been found out, but he came back, and he was like, I always said that when I did what I did it for my family. He was like, that's not true. I did it for me. I did it for me because I wanted to feel special and powerful. And I think that's what's going on here. He says he's doing it for Ryan, but it's bullshit. Anyone with any fucking sense can see that's bullshit. He's not doing it for Ryan. Ryan is, I guess you could call him a totem, somehow a way for him to feel connected to somebody because of blood and birth and whatever. But also, Ryan is kind of his ticket to immortality, if that makes any sense. I mean, he's taking it seriously, like our kids are our only way to be immortal. And he's an excuse. It's an excuse to do terrible things. And one day he'll lay this whole kingdom at Ryan's feet and say, look what I did for you. Look who all I killed for you. Look at the, civilization I toppled just to give you a crown as king of this world. Aren't you proud of me? Don't you love me? Am I not the greatest dad ever? And underneath it all is, I did this. I ascended the mountain. I created this throne. It's me. All you should love and worship me, because look what I did. Let's see. Monkey Hook says Omni-Man's not. Yeah, I can't. They're not the same. They are not the same. They're not built the same. Omni-Man's a real person. By real person, I mean he is a more complete, mentally complete person than Homelander ever will be. Homelander's broken. He's a broken person. Omni-Man lived many lives before he came to Earth. So he's got, he's a grown up that has suffered, but also, he has persevered. He's a Viltrumite. He's not a human being. So his thought processes aren't completely the same, but also he has been acculturated into human culture. So he's also evolved beyond the restrictions of the Viltrumite culture. And as such, he is far more of a mentally complete person than Homelander is. Woke AF says that when you say Brightburn, you're talking about the horror movie with baby Superman. Yes. Where he's wearing the red hood and everything like that, and he's fascinated with human anatomy. Yeah, yes. Like I said, Brightburn's he is not human. Lived among humans, sure. Not a human being. Does not have human mental processes. Not really. That's why when people are like, oh man, he's a psychopath, I'm like, nope. I mean, psychopath in the sense he doesn't think anyone else is human. He doesn't think he's human either. He thinks he sees people as talking animals, essentially. Which I guess will make him a psychopath, but psychopath refers to another human being whose mental map of the world only allows for them to be human and everyone else to be animals. But in a sense, Brightburn is not wrong about that because he's not human. I think the thing is people expect Clark Kent came here and he acts like a human being. Yeah, well, that assumes an awful lot about alien physiology and their brain makeup and how they actually think, because the way we think is kind of, genetically defined. The way our brain works is based on our genes. So, that's why most humans think similarly, because we all have very similar DNA. Brightburn's not human. So there's no way to actually try to map our mental processes onto some alien we don't know shit about. Lucas Lost, welcome, by the way. Thanks for joining and for chiming in. And he says, Ryan really got on my nerves this season. He just became annoying. He was annoying last season, though. But I will say this. I forget the actor's name, and I'm not going to look it up right now, but the young man that plays Ryan, the material he's given is kind of weepy, or was in the previous season. He's a kid, right? He's clearly more like 16 now. Because, I mean, in real life, he is aging up quite quickly. Because, I mean, boys grow up really fucking fast when they, hit 13, 14 years old. So I get it. But I think the material given to him this season has been far superior. Has given him a real chance to kind of flex a little more in terms of how he emotes, how he expresses himself as Ryan. And he's been up and down for me, but that's fine. He's a teenager. Sometimes I'm just like, oh shit, he's the second coming of Clark Kent. Can't wait. And other times when I'm like, you little piece of shit. Your ass needs to sit your ass down somewhere. So in this last episode, I understand where he's coming from. He still doesn't understand his power either. He knows he's powerful. He's not emotionally, I don't even want to say stable. He's not able to control his emotions and his power at the same time. That is not his fault. It is the fault. I will say this. It is the fault of us grown-ups when we are not, taking enough time to understand, empathize, and communicate effectively with young people, particularly teenagers. We all know what it's like to be teenagers. We know. We remember. A lot of us not so fondly remember it, but we know what it's like. They don't know what it's like to be grown-ups like we are. They don't think like us. They haven't gotten to that point yet. So, again, to quote Dumbledore, it is the fault of the old to forget what it's like to be young. But we can't fault young people. So he's a young person. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to control himself yet. And it was Grace Mallory and Butcher's fault for dumping this shit on him at once rather than easing him into it over the course of the last couple seasons. Because he needed to know. And now you're throwing this at him. He's confused. He has confused feelings about his dad. You throw all this shit on there, or you shit talk his dad. He's built up, kind of a rapport, an image in his mind, and you're shitting on it. And you're saying, not only are we shitting on it, we need you to kill this motherfucker too. That's not something, you can't do that in one shot. That's something you work yourself up to. And just because you botched the whole situation doesn't mean you should pressure this kid. And I think Butcher was right. Let him go. Let him go. Better to let him run than what happened. Lucas Law says, the scene where the father intervenes during the son's rescue proves this. Well, I think I'm missing something. He says the scene where the father intervenes during the son's rescue proves this. Maybe you let me know what scene you're talking about there, so I can, because I'm just blanking right now. Gapsule, welcome to the discussion and the chat. Appreciate you dropping in here and having something to say. Brightburn was more of a horror monster based on Superman. Being designed to destroy takes away any of the character agency and pathos. Yeah, I don't think, I always thought, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is like watching if Michael Myers had Superman powers, essentially. He's played a bit as the Shape. He's played a little bit as like Alien, or not even Predator, like the Alien from the movie Aliens. And he is definitely played as like a supernatural horror monster, not a person. Maybe like I was saying, Michael Myers with superpowers for the most part, And the Michael Myers was always played as, we don't understand he is so mentally fucked up, we don't understand him, right? We just know that he has, a one track mind, and anything in his way is fucked. Woke AF says, I hate the kid character's annoying complaint. Kids are annoying. It's their default state. I mean, I fall into that sometimes. So I'm not totally down on it. It really depends on how the writers depict them. Because very much, there are sometimes they are meant to be annoying, shit stains. See also, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They are intentionally meant to be that way. Whereas Ryan, he is in some ways, but that's only because us as the audience, we have a lot more access to knowledge and experiences, and he's just getting in the way of what we ultimately want, which is a resolution to all of this conflict. It would be nice if he'd be like, sure, I'll go train to be the weapon that you wield against my dad. Sure, golly gee, I'd love that. But he's a human being, and you're asking him something really fucking hard. It's not like his dad been beating his ass for 10 years. If by all accounts, once his dad found out about him, he's wanted to be a part of his life. He's been taking him on trips, and he lives in Vought Tower. He's getting all this shit. He gets to be on TV, everything. Right? Homelander hasn't been a terrible dad in the sense of not being there. He hasn't been abusing him. So you're asking this kid to kill his dad? No, okay. He's not going to do it. It's obvious he's not going to do it. Now, he also is very confused. Like, his dad keeps showing him a little bit of the underneath, and he doesn't like it. He keeps seeing the way the world really is, and it is threatening his understanding of what the world should be that his mom taught him. Like, living at Vought Tower has opened his eyes to the fact that, the world's kind of shitty, right? And he's being made to be a part of it and to inherit this. And so he's confused. Let's see. Well, KF says, telling him his dad raped it. His mom was really too far. Time and a place. Don't drop shit like that on people. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, these people have never been around kids or other people. That's not something you just, throw down. It's crazy. I knew that shit was going south as soon as they're like, you got to stay here. And I was like, well, he's gone. How are you going to stop him? Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Lucas Lost says, I was talking about when you talked about Homelander creating a kingdom for Ryan. He wants to still be the center of attention, even in a kid's life. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's going to be that. He's like, I did this all for you, but he'll be right behind him telling him what to do. Remember, he's like, I felt like a slave. I don't want you to feel like one too. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Well, I'm going to keep telling you what to do, though. It's that shit. Homelander is, like I said, he's feeling his mortality. Up until recently, he felt like nothing could stop him. But, age is catching up with him. He wants to be immortal, but also he wants to be the God King. And he wants, even if he steps aside, he still wants to be that guy. So in my mind, let's say he gets what he wants. Establishes a worldwide, kingdom. I'm the man. I got my crown prince here. Ryan, he's gonna take over after I'm gone. And some way, one way or another, he will never fucking let go, ever, because that means he won't be in the light anymore. I firmly believe that. This shit isn't for Ryan. It's a huge lie. I need to take a drink because this is messing with my voice for real, y'all. All right, speculation time, people. We saw what happened at the end of the episode. How does this affect Gen V? What do you think? Because Kripke said, no, you don't have to watch one to get the other. And clearly Gen V is going to be taking place. I think it may take place between the scenes, if you will, of The Boys season 4. Because it would be interesting if Gen V season 2 opens after martial law is declared. Because who's going to get them out of that facility? Lucas Law says, I still don't understand why Starlight lost her powers during a short time in this season. It was a mental block, basically, they're trying to say. Firecracker, her confrontation with her, essentially made her question her self-image. Because she's been like, oh, I'm actually one of the good ones, right? I'm one of the good colonizers, y'all. For real, though. And she thought she's a hero. She thought she's a good person. Firecracker reminded her, nah, you were a bitch when we were little. So bad that you made me quit. You ran me off the circuit, the pageant circuit. You made me question my self-worth. You know? And that's why I fucking hate you. And Annie trying to deny it and eventually accepting, like, yeah, actually, that was me. Maybe I'm not a good person. That's mental block. Basically. It's fair. People say when your mind goes, your body follows. And her mind was conflicted. And therefore her powers wouldn't work well. I mean, look, it's a common trope, but I mean, well constructed and well presented. So yeah, speculation about where this all goes. Like I said, we're getting camps, obviously. Okay, Lucas, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate your time. Glad you could come in. If you haven't hit like on this video, I would appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that too. That'd be dope. Because we trying to get to 500 subscribers, y'all. It'll be nice. But yeah, I think it's fairly obvious where this all goes. Again, Empire Strikes Back situation. Just like in Empire Strikes Back, we got some of the teams not captured. They're out and about. We're obviously going to get brand new characters. Remember, Jared Padalecki is going to come to the show. Who's he going to be? No idea. Are we going to get some new soups? Probably. We definitely got to get some disposable soups because Butcher's got to tear people up. So that's one thing. I am going to speculate. I'm going to speculate that we are going to get introduced to some new characters that are going to stick around, and these characters are going to be from what is it? The Boys Mexico. I feel it somehow. We're going to get a couple of Mexican soups, and they are going to cameo in this season just to introduce them because they're working on the show. We're obviously Sam and Kate are probably going to be in this, but they are more so. I mean, they showed up for a couple scenes and like 3 scenes in this season. They are definitely going to figure into the next season. WokeAF says, I missed one. WokeAF says, where it goes, Endgame meets Civil War brawl. Yeah, probably, but we need more soups on one side. I don't think that all the soups are going to fall in line. So there's probably going to be a resistance. Um, I didn't say all. I know. I think most soups are shitty, but I don't think they all are. And even if some of them are shitty, they have a they won't cross certain lines. So I suspect there will be a resistance. Um, and hopefully some of them are strong enough to not be lasered immediately. We hope. Gapsule says it'll be funny if Jared plays the second Soldier Boy. Oh, there's a second Soldier Boy. I know in the comics there was a Soldier Boy had a sidekick. Am I right? Uh, let's see. Oh, Iriel, what's up? Welcome. You missed a lot of talking, and to be honest, probably have maybe 15 or 20 minutes left in my voice, so I'm letting y'all know right now. Gapsule, I don't know. I'm honestly I couldn't even begin to guess who he'll play. Woke AF says, "Oh, I was confused by one thing. Was Frenchie brainwashed?" Yes, Kate. Remember, Kate has the power to basically to she basically has Purple Man's powers. She can make you do stuff. She can erase your memories, all that stuff. So that's basically what happened. She basically, mentally suggested to him to follow her. I do have to say though, as far as that goes, man, look, you know who the biggest star of this season was? The biggest, absolutely the biggest star of this season, more so than in previous seasons, but definitely a big factor, was fucking plot armor. I know people get mad when you say plot armor, but come on. How many times you got these motherfuckers dead to write and you don't kill them? Right? Like, for real. Why not just, like, you got Sam there. He can pop off Kimiko and Frenchie's head and toss them in the sea. Right? Had them dead to rights. Why take the time? You're just gonna what? They want a mock trial? No one knows who the fuck these people are. Y'all, like, they don't know who. So you're just gonna string them up and put their heads on a pike? They're gonna be a 4 or 5 people in a long line of thousands of people who are about to get fucking killed by the new soup world order. So I ask again, is plot armor not the star of this show? Because I swear everyone in the boys, they can't get killed. They can't get killed trying to get killed. They can be standing next to a person who will pulp some rando and then just punch them and just knock them 10 feet away. Now I'm like, come on, y'all. You gonna pull a punch. You can kill Rando McRanderson, but Frenchie, let's just move him out of the way. Get out of here. Oh, man, sorry. All right, Iriel says, in the comics, there were 3 soldier boys. Is that to make fun of Captain America having many, many people being him? Am I still going to do these streams, Iriel? If there's a good reason to. The Boys is just such a big show that these make sense. Most of the shows that are coming out from now on are either dropping all at once, like Hit Monkey, or not enough people watch. Like, I don't think a lot of people watch we'll be watching Kite Man, hell yeah, even though you should. Or I'm trying to think of another show that's coming up soon. Batman Cape Crusader. It's probably going to drop all at once. So, there's not a lot of sustainable reasons to do these. I've been toying with the idea of having a weekly live stream, but to be perfectly honest, I don't know if my schedule will allow it. My schedule is different. Like, week to week, it's not super consistent. There are some days that are the same, but also, economic times being what they are, I'm probably going to take on a second job soon just to like, help my financial situation more. So my time will be even more limited. So I can't promise anything. We'll see where things shake out, but probably next week, no, unless I have a good reason for it. If there's a good show, unless y'all really want to, y'all let me know. Hit me up on Threads or leave a comment or something. If enough people say they want to, I'll do one. All right, I'm losing space. When Kamiko screamed out no, my heart was broken. You know what? You and me both, Ariel. You and me both. So first of all, I love Karen Fukuhara. She has been just amazing these past 4 seasons without speaking. Glad she gets to speak finally. And I love that she and Frenchie stop fucking around and just get on with it. God damn, we've been saying this shit for like seasons. Get on. Good for them. Honestly, Hero says, honestly, they bamboozled us. We all thought either Ashley or A-Train was going to die at the end. I mean, Ashley's ass is still on the fucking chopping block. Let's call it what it is. I'm still wondering what the fuck V is going to do to her. Remember, V will give you powers that reflect your personality. What is that? It would be funny if she just became Cousin It, though, because she keeps ripping her hair out. Okay. He says, oh my God, look, dude, without plot armor, we wouldn't have any shows or movies or comics or book series. I'll come to a story and see the characters I love die. Yeah, but I agree. But it's comical. I'm not saying there shouldn't be some protection, but it is comical at this. Like, it is red shirts on the Star Trek, Starship Enterprise, ridiculous at this point. Like, it's to the point where I'm watching a scene and I'm like, all right, nobody. Y'all are all about to die. Every one of you whose name I don't know, you're all dead. Oh, are you wearing a suit and you got a gun? You definitely dead. My boy Frenchie, he could be surrounded by 10 of you, and Homelander's laser goes through, and somehow he'll magically not be lasered. It's funny at this point. Without plot armor, Era says, without plot armor, everyone will be dead. I mean, it's true. I think Butcher will become a lot like his comic book counterpart. Probably. I hope he ultimately is a villain. Can we agree Butcher is ultimately a villain? He's a villain on the side of right, but he is a villain. Woke AF says Bruce Banner withstood a nuclear blast. It makes no sense, but without that, we wouldn't have Hulk. I agree about that also. That's the one ask. They asked us one thing. Believe this one thing, and everything else after that will be fine. So I don't know what the ask is here. The ask seems to be that no matter how many times a grenade goes off near these guys, they'll never get hit by shrapnel. It just isn't going to happen. And it's like at some point I'm just like, do grenades actually work in this universe? I don't understand. Soldier Boy is going to try to nuke Homelander as soon as he wakes up. Yeah, maybe. They'll keep him on some halothane. Maybe he's just like, all right. Actually, he's probably going to be like, look, Dad, look at what I did. You said I was a loser. Well, who's a loser now? I guarantee you that's exactly what's going to happen. He's like, you said I was a loser. Well, I run the world now. Guarantee you that's going to happen. There's a Kite Man series, Woke AF. Yes, it started today actually on Max. I have not watched it yet because I had to work today, and then I came home and watched this episode. So I will be getting on it because hell yeah, I love Kite Man. I love the Harley Quinn animated series. If y'all want me to talk about Kite Man, I will. Ariel says, let's get a Thursday or Friday hangout stream. We'll see. This coming Friday, I got to check my work schedule. But if I'm off on Thursday, I mean, I might be down for it. Talk about Kite Man. I'm glad, Ariel, I'm glad that you're appreciating these streams. It's, Y'all are indulging me to sit there and talk about shit I love, so I appreciate that. If anybody in my real life knows, I will fucking talk about this stuff forever and a day. And fortunately, I do have a friend. Like if y'all listen to the Supercast, our friend Lottie, you get us going for hours on this shit. Ariel says, I honestly started crying when Kamiko screamed no, and it showed how much she cared for Frenchie. I didn't cry, but I was really happy about it. Happy and sad, obviously, because she's overcome that mental block. She's healed. She was healed, in fact, when I think she and Frenchie actually we love each other romantically. Let's go. Where they can forgive each other. I think that's where it went. Lucas Law says, phase one of Sis Sata was to raise Homelander to the rank he wanted to see if she could do it. And so I think phase two is she's talking about would be to bring down Homelander, see if she can do it. That would be cool too. I would love if she's like, I'm so fucking smart that the only person I can play chess with is myself. And it's like her leaking stuff to A-Train wasn't just to serve her purposes for Homelander, but also because she's like, I need better opposition. Sick of this shit. That would be cool. Ira says, I think Ashley will become a Medusa-like character because of her whole hair thing. I would love that too. Just like those little mouth, the little mouth snakes that Victoria's daughter had, but just on her head. That would be fun. It would be even cooler if they would talk or would spit venom or something. Uriel says, I think Maeve and A-Train are going to return because where are they going to hide now? A-Train, I think, can hide anywhere. He can go anywhere in the world he wants to, so he's fine. Maeve, I mean, she's out, as far as I can tell, she's out of the picture. It would be cool if she came back, but she has no powers, so she's kind of useless. Woke AF says, the red shirts sacrificed their lives so Kirk and Spock could live. Ooh, I always think the after action reports must be really, really interesting. Because, like, I swear, Kirk must have to be on the what do they call it? The not the phone. What the fuck do they call the subspace? He must have to get on the little subspace phone every fucking week. Just be like, yeah, yo, your son, nobody, instant nobody bit it, jumping in the way of a spear from some primordial race. If it wasn't for him, I'd be dead. He says that like 10 times a week. Let's see. Ariel says, I want to see Villain Butcher. I think he's done. His villain origin story is over now. He's it. He's like, all right, Ryan's a bad guy, so I guess I got to be a bad guy too. Ariel says the boys are actually suits because their power is plot armor. This shit is strong too, y'all. It is so strong. Also, I just thought about this. It is funny to me that the person that apprehends Mother's Milk is the same guy. Remember from Herogasm? I feel like he punched him or something like that. Where he's like, get that dick out of my face. Also, I thought that guy lost his powers. I thought he got hit by Soldier Boy's power and he just had this long, floppy elephant, snout that he couldn't control anymore. Am I wrong about that? Or did his powers come back? And so being depowered is temporary. Okay, says, without plot armor, there would only have been John Wick 1/2. That's their one ask. I don't know if y'all ever hear people say this, but a movie can ask you to believe one thing that's ridiculous, and after that, it's got to be play it straight. And so the one ask of John Wick is that he is so good that he really can kill 100 people, by himself. Like they're all shooting out. That's the ask. Everything after that makes sense. As long as everything after that doesn't get violated, you know, fine. But if you ask us as an audience to accept this one ridiculous thing and no more, and I do bump up against this against some things where I would like, okay, fine. You know what? Fine. The Mayans predicted some shit, and it's significant. All right, you can't then throw aliens into it. You asked me to accept that the Mayan calendar says that there's going to be some apocalyptic shit. The whole movie better be that. Because if at some point aliens roll up, I'm gonna be like, hey, you're asking too much from me. I'm already accepting bullshit. You want to throw bullshit on top of it? Don't do that to me. Ariel says Soldier Boy, after some convincing and releasing, decides to actually join Homelander. Ryan, Soldier Boy loves America, and Homelander's basically the president. Does he love America? I don't know about that. He's basically a Winter Soldier at this point, so who knows? I mean, sure, I'll buy. He loves America in some. He loves a certain type of America and American. How about that? Ariel says everyone deserves to geek the fuck out over the things they love. Absolutely. And I will add to that, not just to geek out, but like let that be what you do. Like I'm honestly, if y'all ever catch me on a stream or any of the spending time shitting on something, I'm like, reel me back in. The worst I've done with that was Madam Web. Because it was just so fucking egregious. But I've hung up that, I've done it. I've had my what I had to say about it, and I'm not going to spend any more time doing that. I want to talk about the shit I love. That's why I like this stream. I want to talk about this show. This show is so fucking awesome, and it has been for 4 years, or actually it's more than 4 years at this point, but 4 seasons. So I agree. And if it makes you happy to talk about these things, definitely find someone who will listen to you or will talk with you about it. Woke AF says, hey, Cobra Kai drop. Getting old because I used to be up on these things. I still have yet to watch that show, which is weird because I've seen Karate Kid 1 through 3 like a million times, but still haven't. I don't know if I ever will, to be honest. 6 seasons in, I don't know about that. There better be 8 episodes each season, then maybe I will. I may have missed the train on that. Ariel says Maeve can take more V or temp V. Yeah. But I like, honestly, the fact that, prehensile dick dude has got his powers back could mean that she's got her powers back too. So, Lucas Law says, best episode for me was the one at the farm with the Comp V boosted animal. That was a good one. I really did. I did like that one quite a bit. It's crazy. Which episode was that? I still say my favorite episode of the season was the one with Huey's dad getting the V and then killing people and having dementia. That was it for me. Just like I said, it just was most emotionally resonant with me. And so like every episode has ridiculous action and funny stuff, and it has all that. Every episode has that. I had more of an emotional connection to what happened in that episode. Love Sausage. That's the guy's name. I forgot that. Oh man, they cannot be serious for one damn second. Love Sausage. I mean, but if that is your power, absolutely have a porn name. Let's see. I can't wait. Ira says, I can't wait to see Kamiko speak for the first time, although she will definitely have some difficulty with it. Yeah, I think we've all, it's just like we wanted to see her in Frenchie Kiss. This was definitely one of those things like we're definitely waiting to actually hear her. And I don't think we knew we were going to get that from her. So, yeah, seeing her talk is going to be interesting. I have a feeling she's going to be screaming a lot in the next season because of torture too. Um, Iria says, I think Love Sausage took more V to get his powers back. I mean, could be, but I'm going to go with the that Soldier Boy's depowering wore off for now until we know more. Because why the fuck would you give this guy a V? Like, of all people to give V, he has the dumbest superpower. There's a lot of dumb superpowers. That's a dumbass power. Ariel says, "What the fuck? Holy shit!" And what were the most common words to say in the finale? Yeah, there's that's definitely a boys' finale. If you're not saying stuff like that, what's happening? You know. Um, Even though I will say I wasn't surprised by too much in it, but it was very good though. It is 8:41. I'm gonna wrap up in about 5 minutes. Well, 8:45. So, well, we'll spend the last few minutes wrapping this up. I do need to rest my voice because it is starting to kind of wear down. Ira says, I hope I'm still alive when The Boys season 5 comes out. Also, will we get GTA 5 before The Boys season 5? I honestly think it's coming out. Let's see what time. 2026, maybe. They haven't started film. I don't think they've started filming it yet, which is stupid. I don't understand streaming and why don't just film? Like, how do y'all not know whether you're gonna keep going? But you should be planning to film. You know, take a few months off and go film the next fucking season. It's 8 episodes. Not like you're not filming 20, 25. So at this rate, if they haven't started filming yet, if they start filming, if they finish writing and start filming, let's say November, October, because you need pre-productions a few months, give or take, depending on what they're doing. So you say start filming October, November, or December or January. You probably won't be December because the holidays. Start filming in January. You figure a few months for filming. You figure 8-ish months for post-production or pickup shoots. Early 2026, maybe. So you got that much time. Try to stay alive till then. Ariel says Butcher needs to say we are Butcher. We are Butcher, sure. Embrace that venom, inner venom. Ariel says, I think Homelander wants every soup on his side and healed, so I think he gave every soup more V. Could be. It's not like they're out of it. It's not like they've destroyed the formula and all of the supply, you know. Capsule says, we don't even know how Soldier Boy got the nuke powers. Soviet magic. Maybe. I always thought that was sort of already his power, but I can't remember. I didn't only watch season 3 once, so I don't remember. Lucas Law says, Victoria Newman was my favorite character. That death that really shocked me the most. Honestly, I was not surprised that she died. I think if you watch the previous streams, I said that Homelander wasn't gonna, he wasn't gonna get exactly what he wanted, and that Newman was the most likely to die between her and Sage. So I wasn't surprised because she was targeted by the boys. Lucas Law says, I heard there will be a movie after season 5. I hope not. Like, let's just end it for real and end it properly. Because my question is, cool, you have a movie. Who's going to show up for it? Yeah, I mean, really. Ask the people that made Serenity. Joss Whedon made Serenity after Firefly failed, and they canceled it. So, I'm going to answer these. So, there's 3 more comments. I'm going to answer those and I'm going to jump off because I got something I need to do at 9 o'clock. And again, my voice needs to recover. So, last 3, what was your reaction when you saw Soldier Boy? Not surprised. Soldier Boy was on ice for a reason. I was not surprised he would get there. Capsule says Venom Butcher covered her eyes first, which was a nice touch. I mean, Yeah, but he still ripped her in half. Ariel said, I think the boys will end up in the same place where the Gen V cast were. I also agree, but I think they're going to be in like a camp and not like a facility. Finally, Ariel says, let's get a Young Homelander show and a Soldier Boy prequel episode. Watch Diabolical. That's both of those things happen in the animated Diabolical show. So, guys, thank you so much for showing up for this live stream. I will consider a live stream next week, but if I feel like there's something to talk about, it probably will be for Thursday because I think my work schedule is the same next week. So maybe around this time. If y'all want to, let me know what y'all want to talk about. Or otherwise, I'm just going to talk about whatever I'm watching that week. But I do appreciate it. Everyone who showed up for all of these. Ariel, Woke AF, Lucas, thanks for coming. Gapstool, Monkey Hook, y'all are awesome. Thanks for having plenty of things to talk about. I appreciate that. And just listening to me ramble on. I'd like to talk, like as you can see. So thanks for indulging me on that. Also, I know I keep saying it, but like if you're not subscribed to the channel, show your boy some love. Go hit that up. Like the video. And if you want to let people know about this live stream, because we did talk about cool stuff and I feel like it's worthwhile stuff we were discussing. So that being said, I've been Mo, BLERD FORCE 1, and thanks again for joining me. I'll talk to y'all next week. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'll set up for next week and come in with some nerd shit to talk about, y'all.